The founder of TPG, one of the fastest growing organizations in the game. He built a national agency, mentored hundreds of high-performing agents, and helped create more six-figure earners than most people will meet in a lifetime. Let's stand as I'm about to bring him out. He's a builder, a coach, a strategist, and a true leader who believes that only the limits we have are the ones that we accept. Today he's here to challenge you, stretch you, and give you the real talk of what it takes to build a life and the business that you can be proud of. 8%, welcome to the stage, one of the fastest millionaires ever, Mr. David Price.
Man, I got it in there. That's a hell of an intro, man. Shit, oh my God. Thank you. It is my birthday, guys. Thanks for coming to my party today.
How old are you?
25. Just turned 25 today. Awesome. So let's see here. All right. Okay, awesome, guys. Everyone having a good time? Anyone learn something today? Who's going to put it into use? That's the question, right? We all learn a lot of things, but we don't actually always put them into use. How come I'm not seeing the slides on the front monitor? Am I supposed to see slides here? Okay, we'll swing it. There we go. Thank you. All right, guys. So first off, if you want to copy the slides, just text slides to this number right here, 239-832-2622. We're going to go over something that I learned, let's see, almost 13 years ago, and it changed my life. And it is this one sentence right here. I want you to write this sentence down. I want you to put it in your phone. We're going to talk about it. We're going to tell some stories about it. But right here, everything we know is subject to revision, especially what we know about the truth. So think about that for a second. Does that mean anything to anyone here? Yes, no? Yeah? So really think about that. What does that mean? So everything we know is subject to revision, right? So the thoughts that we think we know, they're just not always the truth, right? But to us, it's the truth at that particular time. So I'm going to go over a little bit about my story. So July 12, 2013, I had my last drink and my last drug. God willing, 4 days from now, I'll have 12 years clean and sober, without any kind of drugs or alcohol. I used for almost 20 years of my life. Think about that. What causes someone to use for almost 20 years of their life? And it was me thinking that I had everything under control. It's me thinking that I knew what to do. It's my version of the truth was telling me that you're okay. And God had different plans for me. So I went to my first 12-step meeting, and I went there as a supporter, because in my head, my truth was saying I was okay, I didn't need this, I didn't need any help, I knew everything I needed to know, but this person needed some help, so I'm gonna go as a supporter. So I showed up in a taxi. I had 2 bags of clothes that I owned, and I was sleeping on my grandma's fold-out couch. Do you think I was doing okay? In my head, I was. And I'm gonna go to like the extremes and share some stuff with you, and I'm gonna walk you through my journey on how I went from being basically homeless, not owning a car, facing bankruptcy, to building an 8-figure business in this amazing industry that we're in. But I want you to relate, to think your life doesn't have to be that bad for you to still be holding on to these truths that you're okay, that you can't do more, that you know exactly what you have to do to get to this next step. Because perhaps maybe you don't. I'm going to challenge that for you in a little bit. So I showed up to this meeting in a taxi, thinking my life's okay, I'm a supporter, I'm gonna help this person, and I'm sitting in the chair and I'm listening to people speak at the meeting, and I don't know what happened, but I just started crying. Let's be honest, I do know what happened. That was God talking to me. That was God saying, David, everything's not okay. You have a problem, you need some help. These people here can help you. These people know how not to use drugs. At the time, that's what I needed. I needed to learn how to not use drugs. Learn to be coachable. Learn that my best thinking got me there. Learn that my truth was wrong. So I got a mentor, I learned how not to do drugs, I got clean, my life started getting better, one step at a time. I work a couple different businesses, did some different jobs, but ultimately, let's fast forward and bring this into insurance because that's what you want to hear about, right? So I'm looking for a different business opportunity. I'm looking for something that can let me do what I want, where I want, how I want, with whoever I want. And I got my life insurance license in 2018 because I realized that was the vehicle that was going to give me that. Raise your hand if you feel like you have true freedom in this business. It's a lot of you. What does freedom mean to you, and is there different levels of freedom is a question I'm going to ask you. So when I was looking at this business, something was really important to me, and it was leads and being able to talk to people. So I asked the person that was bringing me to this business, do you have leads? How do you find people? And they assured me that there's going to be plenty of leads. They want insurance. They told me that people will fill out this card and they mail it in. And I'm like, dude, if people are doing that, I'm going to close like 90% of these people. Right? Who jumped in this business thinking they're going to close 90% of the leads that they got? Raise your hand. Go ahead. Be honest. Right? Hold your hand up if that actually happened. Right? Just all the hands go down. Right? Everything we know as truth is subject. Everything we know is subject to revision, especially what you know of truth. Right? I thought that I was going to be able to close all these leads. I found out I wasn't. I found out this was harder. I found out there's some more skills involved to being successful in this business, right? Who here joined this business thinking that this was gonna be super, super easy, you're gonna make a 6 figures your first 12 months, and it's never gonna be hard because all you have to do is talk to people looking for insurance, right? So again, guys, I wanna continue to challenge your beliefs because a lot of times people think they know what they have to do to reach that next level of success. Or people, they're looking for that other information or that other thing or that other lead source or that other mentorship or that other carrier or that other product to help them be successful. But realistically, maybe we just have to let go of some of those ideas that we have on what success looks like. I remember being a teenager. I think all you guys were teenagers as well. If I'm wrong, feel free to correct me. But if you were a teenager and you felt like you had life all figured out, raise that hand. And then what happened? There we go, right? Clap. We realized we were wrong. We gained some more information and we realized, you know what, things are just a little bit different. So I start out, I'm thinking I'm gonna close all these leads. I go to my mentor break, I'm ready for these leads. I got my license, I got my training, I got everything I need, and he sends me this list of leads, and I look at these leads, and on these leads, it shows me when this lead was created, and it has the date, and the problem with this right now is every single one of these leads were 2 to 5 years old. I'm like, geez, this isn't what I signed up for. This is different. This isn't what I expected. This is gonna be harder. How the heck am I gonna sell insurance to somebody that called a TV commercial 2 years ago? What do you think I did? Quit? I wouldn't be here, right? So, all right, looks like I'm selling insurance to people that are that called a commercial 2 to 5 years ago. No problem. I'm just gonna tell them that they didn't get the information they requested and I'm here to give it to them. I'm not going to remind them how long ago it was because it doesn't matter. So that's how I started in this business, right? Remember, I had plans to make 6 figures my first year in this business. I thought it was going to be super easy. I was always going to close 80 to 90% of the people. And again, my beliefs were challenged as I gained experience. And I'm like, man, this is a lot harder than I thought. So I'm knocking on these doors and I'm like, hey, my name's David. I'm with the Senior Care Plan. Looks like you called our TV commercial. Unfortunately, I don't think we got you the information that you're looking for. It's gonna take 5-10 minutes. May I come in? I'm doing that every day, door to door. And I made a sale every single day doing that. Who thinks you can make a sale with 2 to 5-year-old leads? Some. Not seeing as many hands as normal, right? But you can. Why do you think you can? Honestly, I think they probably called the commercial again recently or hit a lead or something, because if they didn't get insurance 5 years ago, it doesn't mean they don't need it, right? But a lot of times we get so caught up in we need the newest lead, and don't get me wrong, I like to send leads to my agents real time, and I think that's the best way. But ultimately, I was willing to do whatever I needed to do to be successful in this business. It was super important to me to just create massive, massive action. Because I learned from my addiction, from losing everything, that guess what? Maybe I just don't know. So even though I plan on getting these great leads and closing 80-90% of the people and everything was gonna be easy, I was gonna make 6 figures and make a ton of money and only have to work till noon and make $100,000 a year, I also knew that maybe I was just wrong. Maybe I just didn't really know what I needed to do. So I'm just gonna keep creating action. I'm gonna get some experience, right? That was my goal, get experience, and hopefully learn what it really, really takes to be successful in this business. So I finally get a chance to get some new leads. My upline calls me up and he's like, I got some new leads for you. And he sends me a spreadsheet and it shows me where all these leads are. And I'm super excited to work some new leads because I'm working these old leads. And I'm looking at these, I'm like, wait, these leads are 4 hours from my house. Who here work leads 4 hours from their house? Okay, we got some people, right? So remember, I'm just a couple months in this business. I'm like, all right, I guess I'm getting a hotel. So I go out, I stay in Monroe, Louisiana. Anyone know where Monroe, Louisiana is? It's a great place to sell insurance. I went out there, stayed in a hotel. I start working the leads, and I get a call, my father passed away. I was like, geez, what the heck is going on here? Come back home, take care of everything with my father, and then eventually have to go back out to Monroe selling insurance. I'm sitting there crying in people's houses. I don't know what the heck's going on. I'm not having the easiest time that I thought I was gonna have. The newer leads weren't that much easier, that much better. And I realized I still have to work in this business. But I also realized something else. This gave me purpose. My father passed away, and guess what? I wasn't making much money at the time. I had to use a GoFundMe to get money to get my father's funeral. I realized what it was like losing somebody close to you when you're responsible for the funeral. So to me, this was where some purpose was born. This is where I realized what we do and why it is important. I had a firsthand story now. So one of my big goals when I started the insurance business was I wanted to build a business in this industry. Who here wants to build a business? Not many people, okay, so you guys want to be producers for a long time. Okay, that's another route. I don't know if it's gonna give you the freedom that you want, but for me, my goal was to build a business in this industry. So what happens when you want to build a business? You have to hire agents and recruit agents and train agents, right? Well, every time I hired an agent, I would train them, I would spend time with them, I would talk to them, I would give them leads, I would go through the applications with them, I would role play with them, I would spend hours and hours and hours with these new agents. And then they would just call me, Dave, I don't think this is for me. I'm like, geez, what is going on? How am I gonna be successful in this business if I can't even show someone how to be successful? I was blown away. Again, my beliefs were challenged because I just didn't understand it. At this point, I'm ready to quit. I'm like, how am I gonna build a business here when I can't even get anyone else to work? Right? Who here almost let somebody else make them wanna quit this business? It happens all the time. There should be way more hands up. I've hired over 5,000 agents since I've been in this business, and I definitely I've seen it all, right? So one thing I realized is every single person isn't going to be successful. Every single person isn't meant to be successful in this business. Every single person is not meant for this business. But the biggest thing is most people aren't willing to do what it takes to be successful in this business. That's not a reflection on me. That's not a reflection on you. That's a reflection on them and what they're willing to do to be successful. See, their belief system was wrong too. They're holding on to their ideas on how they're going to be successful in this business, and they weren't willing to grab a hold and duplicate your ideas, your thought processes, your actions, and the things that you did to be successful in this business. So eventually, I got some agents that went to work. I got my license in May of 2018. December, I was blessed with 2 agents that joined me that decided to go to work. And one of those agents submitted over 1,000 applications her first year. Insane, right? That's it. That's her voice over there. That's Jen. She's a great person. But there was nothing I can do to either stop her success or help her be more successful. And that's what really taught me about this business is like, it's not all on me. It's on what they're willing to do, right? I don't make people, I find people. Yes, you could help increase them a little bit. You could help them get better. But the people that I've seen to be successful in this business, they were going to be successful at some level with or without me. So now I'm like, all right, well, now I know how to sell insurance. Now I got somebody who's successful in insurance. And now I could start working on building a team. Who here wants to build a team? You've got a lot of people want to build a team. That's it. I think, is it the back sleeping or they can't hear me? That's it. See, they paid more money to be up front, so they're more engaged. They want to get the value out of this. I appreciate that. So in June of 2019, our agency did $100,000 without my production. And I'm like, wow, this is great. So this was the deal. You take a lead, you show up to their house, you knock on their door, and you sell insurance, and that's how you're successful in this business. There's no other way. Don't ever pick up the phone. Don't ever do it another way, because there's no other way to be successful in this business. Who believes that? Right? And that's how we did it. We continued to do that. We continued to do that. And then what happened in 2020? COVID happened, and I'm like, man, what the heck are we gonna do now? The only way to really be successful in this business is show up to their house with the door. These people aren't gonna want us in their house. So I called up every single agent we had. I was like, listen, I have new rules. What we're gonna do now is we're only gonna sell insurance on the phone. That's it. That's the only thing we're gonna do. And I want you to take every single lead you ever got, make a big pile of them, because they're all direct mail leads at this point. And you just call the top lead, you flip it over, and you call the next one. That's what I want you to focus on. We had our best month that month, and we continued to grow and had records almost every other month after that. Let's see here. This isn't the slide. Yeah. So what I realized then is, again, my thought process was wrong, right? As I'm gaining experience and going through this business, I'm starting to realize that what I think is true isn't actually true. And my beliefs are always challenged every single week, every single month, all the time in this business. So we did 17,000 policies in 2013, wrote $15 million in business, and we did that with clipboards and cell phones. We didn't even have a CRM, guys. We had no CRM, no call system. We were calling direct mail leads, and it proved that activity is king, that you can be successful no matter what if you put in enough activity. Obviously, we use a CRM now. We use different leads and different systems now, but the goal is for you guys to understand that you don't need this other thing to be successful. The success is going to be in you. Let's see here. So we're running out of time here. So I'm going to go over, I'm doing a breakout room tomorrow and the next day at 9:20. And I'm going to go over everything that I learned to go from being homeless, broke, drug addicted, to building an 8-figure business in this industry. We're gonna have 2 45-minute breakout sessions, and I'm gonna do Q&A after, and we're gonna go over the lead strategies, we'll go over the mindset, we'll go over the foundation, we'll go over every single thing that I know to be successful. I'm gonna open up the curtains and teach anyone willing to learn how to be successful in this business. What do you guys think about that? Remember, the version of yourself you haven't met yet is on the other side of everything you were once wrong about. I hope you guys understand that. Feel free to follow me on Instagram. I'm an open book. I share every single thing that I've learned in this business, every single thing I've done wrong, everything I've done right, ultimately to help you guys be more successful. Thank you guys.